Hey, and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So on the Zen market, make sure to pick up your free pack, the D&D Direct VIP pack. Pretty cool. You get 7 days of free VIP with it, along with a Stone of Health and some scrolls, even some companion upgrade tokens. Now you need to make sure you have inventory space, and when you do, you can claim it. Let's make sure it gives me the VIP. 155 days, so it should be 162 days. We go ahead and claim it, and there we go, 162 days. Now, there in our inventory is our rewards. Very neat, free reward if I do say so. That's 7 enchanted keys worth, which you can see what you'd be spending there on the Zen market if you were to buy those. And then other useful items. So make sure to pick that up before it's gone. Now, another thing I missed with Module 25 going live, and they didn't even mention it anywhere. The appointment vendor got updated, and this guy you'll spend like tokens of participation challenge and achievement to purchase new rewards. You may have seen tokens of participation. You can now obtain this buff food, which was a long time ago since we could obtain it. In particular, Lathander's Dew can be very useful, giving you action points. Like you can just drink this and then generate some action points over time when you're like out of combat. And then Lyra's Fair, basically getting some stamina, and then the red vines for your maximum hit points. They were available on the auction house from other players, probably still are. Super expensive prices, but you can buy it here, and I personally don't recommend it. So in the challenge tab, nothing's changed, but the achievement tab, we can now obtain a new mount, the Balagora. And this new mount has a new equip power and a new combat power. The combat power increasing the incoming damage to the target by 11%. It's a bit of an odd number, but it'll make it as a decent 5th option as a combat power to help your team deal damage. And otherwise the equip power is also a little bit odd. At this point we've gotten so many ratings that it'll kind of be hard to fit that in. Maybe a barbarian, but it doesn't have 100% uptime, so I don't see it as too reliable. But the Balagora also has 4 insignia slots. Before we go over what exactly that's going to allow us to gain, there is also a new mythic companion, which is Portobello da Vinci himself. He's got the enhancement, advantage, nullification. I think that's new. Yeah, definitely new. Reducing the enemy's combat advantage. That means that you reduce their damage basically. And if it's a boss, then straight damage. And these actually, I have not considered using them to mitigate the damage your party would take. Could be useful. And then the utility power, just gaining some attributes. That's like your strength, dexterity, constitution, so on. That is completely new. Haven't seen that before. That increases like your damage and some of your stats, depending on what ability scores you make use of. I don't see 2 as worth it though. Otherwise, more importantly, Da Vinci himself has an ability called D&D in Session. That is like the Tutor with its class in session. However, Portobello is going to give everybody 3.5% power and combat advantage. So he in total is going to give more stats than what we had with the Tutor. The Tutor gives 5%. Da Vinci is going to give 7% total. Of course, you're gaining power and you might not be able to fit that in. And who knows, it depends how many people can actually obtain this. And then is it going to become a regular thing in endgame content that somebody has this in the party or not? Anyway, we can check his damage then as well, which I have gone and done so. Now the Balagora mount looks like this. Got some fancy fire animation mount up, and there you go. He leaves like blood footsteps on the ground. He is all a bit gory. His spacebar animation, he's just gonna roar at you like that. And again, the mount up animation is like so. Red rune on the ground, and there you go. You're carried on the shoulder, and that's it. We've seen Balagora mounts in the game before, so it's not particularly new. Same with like Yetis. But then the combat power is Hell's Impact. That's it right here. We do have to get that upgraded. Upgrading the mount to Mythic. There you go. And you can see Hell's Impact now does, as I said before, give 11% increased damage to the target with a damage over time effect. Yeah, this is not going to be something a DPS would use, at least in single target fights. We can have a look at the animation, and when in combat here we go and you put the area on the ground and he slams down, roars, and then leaves a damage over time effect, and he's gone. So that's it. It's AoE, which is pretty cool then. That means you can gain all that damage against all the targets within the area. And then advancing accuracy. This is pretty weird. So when you use an encounter power, you have 15% chance to gain 10,000 accuracy. My accuracy, 47,000. We go use our encounter power, another one. But there we go, we got it. Got that 10,000 accuracy. The buff does not show up in our bar at all, but then it has a cooldown before you can gain it back again. I don't see it as too feasible, to be honest. DPS at this point have so many ratings, it's easy to cap everything, but we got the 10,000 accuracy there again. I don't see it as all too special, but what is special about the mount is 4 insignia slots. Just here. You can gain a bunch of different bonuses with it. Probably the one most people will use is Executioner's Covenant for DPS. Now, I have made a PDF just to showcase all the different mounts that we have in the game right now, as of the launch of Module 25, that have these 4 insignia slots. So we have the Ebon Riding Lizard, that came from the lockbox, and you can see all the different bonuses it could provide, and you can see my little indicators here. So when it's in a red box, that's like the recommended and should use insignia to actually gain the bonus. And then I have a recommended here. That's the combination of insignias you can use to make use of this preferred bonus to gain that 20% extra item level. So, for example, if we want to use Cavalry's Warding, we have to use as our 4th insignia with these 3, either a crescent or a barbed, because if we use, let's say, one of these eyes, we're just going to end up with Master's Precision bonus instead. If we were to use an illuminated, we'd end up with Mender's Covenant, and if we were to use a regal, we'd end up with Accursed Resolve. You see what I mean? So the only 2 that are left to get Cavalry's Warding with this mount is using a crescent or a barbed. And then with Victims and Survivor's Blessing, you can use other ones, but it's recommended you use one of these Enlightened to get the 20% extra bonus. And then we have the Balagora, and this is the new mount I just went over, and you can see the different bonuses you can obtain. Mender's Covenant, Executioner's Covenant, Tactician's Restoration, Wanderer's Fortune, and Oppressor's Reprieve. Take note, only Executioner's Covenant, Wanderer's Fortune, and Oppressor's Reprieve can be used to obtain the 20% extra item level. Because if you use Tacticians, you're going to have to put one of those insignias that's not the preferred one in the universal slot. And the same with Menders. You would have to go and put one of the insignias that's not a regal in the preferred slot. And it's the same with the Ebon Rising Lizard, right? To obtain Cavalry's Warding, you'd have to put something else that's not an Enlightened in this slot to obtain it. So hopefully this is insightful to you guys, and there's a few more mounts as well. So that's the Balagora. Then we have the Tiger, came from the Zen store, and you can see it only has these 2 bonuses here. Then you have the Red Dragon Wings, again, only from the Zen store. You can get Shepherd's Devotion, but you have to use either a Regal Crescent or an Illuminated with it, and you will not gain the 20% extra bonus item level. Same if you want to use Lionheart's Preservance, you will not gain that extra item level. You're recommended to use Protector's Covenant with this Red Dragon Wings. Then the Golden Rage Drake, again from the Zen store. You can see the insignia bonuses there. Cavalry's Warning, if you want that. You again have to use a crescent or a barbed with it to obtain it. Otherwise, you're ending up with a different insignia bonus. And the only recommended one there is Master's Precision, because the rest of them require you to put a different insignia than the Enlightened. And then we have the Armored Pale Horse. That again comes from the Zen store right now. And you can see you can use Survivalist Expertise and get the extra boost in item level. Or you could use Renight's Rebuke with one of these 4th insignias, but it won't be an Illuminated, and so you won't gain the extra item level. And lastly, on Thursday, we shall be able to get the Gilded Goose from the event, and this one can give us Master's Precision, and that's it, nothing else. You're not able to use any of the 3 slot insignias with it. And that's my document, link in the video description below. Hopefully it helps you guys with these new 4 slot mounts and which ones to choose, and if you want to pick them up in the first place at all, if they're in any way useful to you. And to confirm, you cannot use this preferred slot as a universal slot for 3-slot insignia bonuses. It doesn't work like that. I cannot go and use 2 crescents and a regal and obtain my Knight's Rebuke. No, not happening. Because this 4th slot does not count for 3-slot insignia bonuses. So let's move back to Portobello da Vinci. We've gone and checked his DPS, and we can see he was dealing nearly 17,000 in current DPS. Not great. He has a magic missile single target attack and a fireball which can hit up to like 111,000. That can be pretty good when it can hit everybody in an area. It is an area effect. For comparison on what's good or not, the Blaspheme Assassin is hitting for like 48,000 DPS. So Portobello's is nothing compared. Now, whether or not D&D Insertion actually works, let's have a look. You can see my stats right here. 82% combat advantage, 76% power. And then we go and we summon Portobello da Vinci. And now we have this extra stats and we have D&D in session. You can see my combat advantage gone up to 86% and my power gone up to 79%. So it does work. It's pretty good. And it stacks. You can see it stacking with the Tutor, who gives us 5% combat advantage. So yes, it'll be another one of those companions you can use to support your team, increasing their statistics. Not sure where it'll be used outside of a trial with regards to having 4 supports, and then one of them can be on that guy, and then people can make their builds to fit it. A bit hard, to be honest. We already have so many stats, especially with the new lightning flash enchantment. Again, those new mounts are all in the Zen market there. They are account wide. If you like buy it here, you'll be able to claim it on all the other characters, but yeah, they're only like purple and blue and green. Not really a big deal in my opinion. Wait for some better mounts to come down the road. The Ebon Riding Lizard is a decent option because it's already on Mythic and it's account wide, and it does have at least a bigger selection of bonuses. Not all of them are great though, to be honest, and I would really only take this if you're a healer for Mender's Covenant, or if you really want to build around Master's Precision. But the Balagora, on the other hand, is a pretty good option, but it's costly one because you are spending whopping 5 of your valuable achievement tokens, which you know they're bound to decrease the price in that down to 2 at some point. And same with the Mythic Companion, they're bound to decrease the price down to 3. It's all about, like, you want it now, you're paying a higher cost. Wait, and the price will go down. And we're bound to get like mythic mounts that have good offensive bonuses like Executioner's Covenant. So we can just wait and we'll get that. I don't see it as such a big deal that you need to go and spend all that right now to obtain those. So hopefully this has been somewhat insightful to you guys and helps you out, especially with those new mounts. And yes, it's good to see another account-wide companion that can provide that support, and you're getting already on Mythic from that guy. Bit expensive though, 5 events worth. Massive thank you again to all of these channel members for helping me keep my channel going. You can click the join button and support me for as little as €1 a month, and it's greatly appreciated. We'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.